Riot has given me early access to the new map summit, and I have spent hours determining which agents are going to be good, which ones are going to be meta, which ones are going to be bad, and everything in between. Represented by this tier list, we have S through D, each with their own meaning next to it. So, and obviously we're not going to just jumble every agent into one tier list because it wouldn't be fair to put Reyna up against Breach, right? They do different roles for your team. But we are going to work from the bottom up for every class. So if you want to see your favorite agent, just check the timestamps down below. I'm sorted by class. I'm sorting them by class, so you should see your favorite agents there. And we're going to start with the Duelists, starting with Reyna. I don't believe she belongs in D tier. I don't think she's that horrible. She's just pretty horrible in C. Now, why is Reyna C tier? You might be asking me. Well, two reasons. One,
your hearts are
for Leers. These are very strong, very powerful flashes that allow your team to scale out of B main. By throwing out a flash, you're protected from this heaven angle that which you probably need a molly or a smoke or like a flash for. Because in ranked, you're only going to get, what is it, Clove, maybe Omen if you're lucky, and you're only have 2 smokes. You're going to want to smoke here or here, those 2 spots, or these 2 spots here, depending on your buy and depending on the situation, whatever. But you're not going to have anything from heaven. What Reyna does is that she allows your team to, if thrown out, your team can scale behind the flash. You know, it blinds everybody on site, obviously, but also protects you from this heaven angle, right? So, like, if somebody's sitting here trying to get a cheeky kill because heaven isn't smoked, your team is going to be safe because you scaled out behind the Reyna flash you threw out this way. And if the Reyna flash does get thrown out this way, and the heaven player shoots it, they are revealing their position, and the offense are going to hold you, and you really can't swing anymore, or you're going to get mollied out and fall on ramp or whatever. So Reyna's Leers offer protection on B. On A, it's not, like, it doesn't do as much because A is really awkward. It's kind of, once you get past A main, it is a little easier to take site, because as long as you smoke this and you just shut the door, you kind of just have A and kind of enough room to plant. But with Reyna's flash, again, you could save that second smoke and put it, like, who knows, like maybe in this area, or you could put it even a little deeper if your team wants to take cave control. A site just isn't big enough, and you know, I'm not going to explain to you guys how to play the map because I'm probably going to make a second video on that. That might actually be posted before the tier list, so just check out my channel for that, right? So that's why Reyna's flashes are good. Now, the second reason why she's in C and not in D is because her dismisses, they cover a lot of ground. They cover a good amount of ground. So if she's anchoring A and she, like, plays here, she gets a kill, she can dismiss out, you know, to cat or garden or whatever you want to call this. If she's playing towards mid, right, she walks out here at the beginning of the round, gets one, she can dismiss to around this corner pretty safely. There's obviously a bunch more cases than what I'm explaining, but, you know, she gets a kill here, right? She could dismiss probably across the way to drop or just get out. If she's playing backside, she could dismiss to here. If she's playing, I guess, yeah, backside, get out. Maybe this might be a little too long if she plays here. Maybe she can I'm pretty sure she can dismiss out, or just barely make it. So her dismisses aren't bad, and her Leers actually help her team scale, which is what you kind of have to do when executing out of these sites in order to get that door closed, right? So let's go to our tier list, and let's put Reyna in C. Good, she's already there. And next on our tier list, I was debating on putting him in B, and you could probably put him up here, but I'm going to put him in C. This is ISO. Now, why is ISO so low?
Breathe, then commit.
Well, his vulnerable fills up lanes on this map pretty nicely. First switch, A main, right? He covers a lot of ground. Good insta-vulns, which works well with Silva's Hunter's Fury, who I'll talk about later. You could do this up cat as well if your team wants to split. This vuln, you know, hits a bunch of angles. On B, this works a lot nicer, where you do something like this, or you can do something like this. Each vuln hits backside or up B main, both of which are pretty decent. And then his shield also gets a good amount of value, for the same reason why Reyna's Leers are good. By throwing out ISO shield, it kind of gives your team another something to protect them from the heaven angle, right? And I think that's kind of an interesting part of this map, where because heaven can sometimes be closed or open or whatever. I think this map and like this door concept gives new players or bad players a good example of what a good smoke is for, right? So even if you're playing like an agent that can't really smoke heaven, you could still kind of cover heaven right? Just enough so you can break this door and close it on the enemy, right? And his ult obviously is always just decent. Shield's always decent. Good players can spam it, so it's not like broken. And that's ISO. That's our C tier. Now we're gonna go to our tier list. He goes in C. Now in B, in terms of duelists, we have Jet. Now the maps that Jet is like really good on are maps that have like a lot of elevation. This could be like Haven or Icebox, where there's a lot of like up and down and up and down and up and down. And this map doesn't really have a lot of that. It's a lot of just flat ground. Like as I'm flying around the map, you can see for yourself. Like there's not a whole lot of places Jet can like utilize her updraft. I mean, maybe into mid window, but like that's really not that great. Maybe on B you could updraft like into Heaven, which is okay. I don't think it's horrible. You leave the door open. You know, I talk about why the door should be left open in my map tutorial, I guess. So check that out. But again, I just don't think her updraft is gonna get a ton of value. And the reason why she's in B is because Jet is always just a good agent. Her dash is broken, really good. She can follow up off utility. She can create space. She can opt and make plays. She's a good playmaker. You really can't go wrong with Jet. She's Valorant's poster girl, and there's a reason for it. She's fun to play. She feels good, and she's just a good agent. So let's go back to our tier list. Jet's already there. Now next to Jet we have Yedu. Now a lot of people are kind of complaining that Yoru's nerfs are kind of, you know, they're killing him, or they killed him. But in my opinion, I think that Yoru isn't like, I don't think he's that bad, chat. I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of you guys are over complaining, just like the way the Neon nerfs. Everyone was complaining about Neon being nerfed too hard, and it turns out she was just fine. So the way you judge Yoru's strength is how well you can use his teleports. And on offense, you can use them to make space into this cubby. You could teleport up into, I would say, like behind this box could be decent as long as it's cleared out. So you have two places to enter on B. But on defense is where you see a lot of his value come from. So if you want to fight for B, you can line up a gate crash. How did I do it? I remember doing it. I think you do it off this wall. I did this in my own time, and it's hard for me to replicate because I'm not a Euro player. But you could like fight B, and like you're gonna cover a lot of ground. Like you're basically going to get pretty far and see like, hey, I don't see any of these guys anywhere. Like they're not mid, they're not B. Go stack A, and that's what Yoru's good at. Right? Like he's good at getting that early info. And yeah, his teleport just allow him to go deep. And the same thing goes for mid, right? So let's say, for example, the buy barrier starts here. Okay, so let's say you want to go fight mid. Okay, I'm going to go fight mid. See you guys. So buy barrier drops, and you're like, oh, beep, 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 beep. Okay, let's go fight mid. And like, you don't hear anything. You don't hear anything. You don't hear anything. You're checking mid. Hey, guys, I don't see anything. Guys, I think it's B. Like, if your team is called, it's B, go B. Right? And look at where you're at. You're like right here, ready to help them. And then he has some pretty nifty flashes around the map. I'm not a Euro player. Please forgive me. And forgive your retinas. Oh, Jesus. Just imagine me bouncing a perfect flash. Yes, through this hole and, like, peeking with it, right? He can do that. He can do that mid as well. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, you could do this with the doors, too. I'm not sure how useful that's going to be. But his flash isn't bad. The clone's always a good ability. And his ult is probably the best in competitive Valorant. So that's my case for putting Yoru in B tier. If you don't like it, sue me. Just kidding, don't. I don't have a lot of money. Now, so who do we have next? In terms of duelists, we have Raze. Now, Raze, I kind of, you could interchange these two. I'm not going to lie. You really could swap these around. I was kind of, it's a struggle trying to figure out which one goes in front of the other, but we'll just leave it here for now. Main point being that, oh, let me switch to Raze. That'd help, wouldn't it?
None of my stuff has malfunctioned yet.
My main point being that you could do some funky things with a grenade. Grenades and satchels can be used to open and close the doors if lined up properly. So I don't think you probably could do it from here. Like this nade will always be good, where you can just throw it back sight. I guess you have to jump through it. I'm not a Raze player, but if it gets pretty close to the button, you'll see. Okay. If you get it pretty close to the button, Okay, it closes the door. And this nade's also good for, like, to prevent it flooding. It also closes the door, so your team doesn't have to worry about this part of the map ever. You could just do it before your execute even starts, right? You default A main. This is probably smoked off. You just lob this nade back there. Again, I'm not doing it the right way, but... Or maybe I am. But again, pros will figure this out a lot better than I can. And her satchels also, if not shot in time, will also break the doors. So I'm sure there'll be some, like, funky tech we're going to see where... where Raze players are using their nade to, like, break these things open, or like if you could land it on this box, that'd be pretty sick. You probably could do something like this.
Grenade.
Again, I'm not a pro. They'll find lineups. That's not what you subscribe to this channel for. But by blowing up a nade here, you should be able to close this door and flush out this part back aside in order to close the door. So I think that's pretty cool. It is a little gimmicky, which is why I don't have Raze any higher. And then her boom bots, obviously, is just a decent ability. Send it to Cat, send it to be main to clear some space. You could satchel, you could set, what is it, entry with her satchels. Or you could even save your nade for, like A site. You could probably do some crazy lineup nade that, like,
Grenade.
just covers everything on A site. Like, it just clears literally every spot, unless they want to tank damage, which is whatever, good for them. So yeah, Raze is overall good agent.
My aircraft party. Satchel out.
Yeah. Yeah, Raze is pretty good. So, let's take our little tier list. Raze goes there. Let's see who we got next. In terms of duelists, we're going to move into the A tier. The A tier-oni, Waylay. I think Waylay is very underrated, and I could even see her moving into the S tier.
Hey, stay focused.
But I myself am not a Raze Waylay player, so maybe my ability usage is just too bad for her. Right. So on entries, I think she has a lot of places she could, like, dash into. Like, she can make it to A site pretty quickly, follow up util pretty quick, and this is a pretty covered spot. Granted, like, somebody could be here, somebody behind this box, but your teammates should be using utility to help clear this out. But not only that, her slow can be lobbed over these sites and, like, land in, like, the perfect spots. Like, I just freeballed that and I just cleared most of site, and then I dash in, and it's a good time. Her teleport is always just a good ability. This will never be bad. It's a get out of jail free card. What else? Oh, her ult. Yeah, her ult's insane on this map for fighting for A main, for retaking, for a whole bunch of reasons. Like, look how much ground this covers. You make it into cave, you unleash your ult. It's just a good time. It is straight up just a good time. You could do the same thing for, like, B splits. Right, you could do something like this while your teammates run up, or you could ult like this if you're just gonna, like, slam B. That's fine too. You know, even over this wall, you could lob your saturate. Sorry, I forgot she had to arm it. Again, not a Waylay player, so
Hitting the brakes.
there you go. Something like this. Again, her abilities just fit into the map well, and I think that's just important when you're trying to build a team comp. You could dash into here, which is pretty decent, right? Hopefully this is cleared so you know, or like getting flushed out so you know that, you know, this is safe. A Waylay is just a good agent on retake, on everything. Okay, so let's put Waylay in there. Waylay A, and then last on A tier we have Phoenix. The Phoenix, I think he's a very good agent right now. He's good in ranked. He's good in pro play.
Last round,
and that's because
spend it now.
Where's the orb? The A orb. Here are the orbs on this map. I'll talk about them now. Again, I'll talk about them in my guide, so look out for that. The orb is right here. I feel like this is pretty attacker sided, especially because you can just grab it from here. Something to keep in mind is that you can get Odin spammed pretty hard if you're grabbing this thing, so just be careful of that happening. But because Phoenix can basically default this orb pretty well, like off rip, you just sit here, whip a flash around the corner, and this space is practically yours. From this orb up, 6 orbs, it's a good time. Now, if his ult gets nerfed, even then, I still think he's pretty decent. That's a pretty attack-sided orb. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. And then his wall, you could be pretty creative with it. You could use it to do things like split A, split. I hate when there's little gaps in this wall. I think it's a bug. I don't think Phoenix wall's supposed to have a gap in it like this. Maybe you have to, like, aim it high. I'm not sure. I'm not a Phoenix main. Maybe I gotta aim it to the ground.
Going up.
Okay, if you aim it to the ground, it looks like it gets rid of the.
Going up.
It gets rid of the gaps. Yeah, it looks like you have to aim it down a little bit to get rid of the gaps. Well, yeah, you could you get your team into A side pretty decently. His flashes are broken. Well, again, Molly, you could lob it over the walls. You have good mollies for whatever. And his flash, what I like about his flash is that if your teammates can get you onto this line, he can get here and then flash both sides of mid. Flash this, flash this. Everybody in mid's flash. You're having a good time. And then on B, his wall's pretty decent. And because it goes through walls,
Going up.
you can cut anyone off here, and anybody in these cubbies is going to start getting charred, so they have to come out, right? So you're not only blocking off the sight line, but you're also clearing this out for your team. So that's pretty cool. And on retakes, you know, same thing.
Going up.
If you want to clear out backside, this is the way to do it. Again, just aim your wall lower. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, I think that's it. And like here, if you want to retake and ignore courtyard, I guess that's what we're calling it. You throw out your wall like this, just make your way into sight. Again, his wall's just really flexible. Big fan of that buff we gave to Phoenix. And then lastly, in S tier, our only remaining duelist is Neon. And now, why is Neon so good? Well, for a few reasons. Her wall, just like other wall agents in this tier list, spoiler alert, are just really good on this map. Again, like if a team wants to go B, you rip something up like this, and it's just like, how are you not taking sight? Again, I'm not a Neon player. I'm sure there's ways to optimize this wall, but it just provides her team so much cover to get into certain parts of the map where I don't know why you wouldn't play this agent. Like, she's so good. And because this map has a lot of ground to cover, especially on the sites, and I think Neon's speed is going to be a big benefit for her, if that makes sense. Her stun is also pretty good at fighting into the main, specifically A main, right? A is not really a site that you hold, you gotta fight for, and Neon's a really good fighting character. And if her team wants to go A, she could throw up a wall like this and run it down into oh my god, I'm so bad at Neon movement, into A's, right? You get the idea. Maybe you could even find like some crazy lineup.
Go, go,
Yeah,
go.
do something like this, and like you just make it into A straight up, right? Her wall's really good. Her rotation speed with her boots,
Go, go,
with
go.
her sprint is going to be really nice. Her stun is really good for fighting, and again, her abilities just fit the map well. She's a good space maker. She's good at finding frags. There's not really much to complain about Neon, and I think a lot of you guys kind of just complained a bit too much about her nerfs. I don't think they're that bad. Again, there's that extra smoke that you need to split A or split B. Again, I'm not the best Neon player, so you get the idea. What if I go like this?
Shortcut. I'm out of
Just
here.
do it. Not really, but you get the idea. She gives you an extra smoke. The walls are nice, gets you onto sight, and her stun's are really good. Her ult is obviously great. Even pro players can't kill her. And that completes our duelist tier list. So that brings us to our initiators. And starting off in D tier, we have Breach. Breach is one of the lowest win ratingest agents in the game, and that's because his utility sucks. Not so much. This isn't really like a map thing for Breach. This is more of like a his abilities aren't great, and stuns don't really kill. People can still shoot back when they're stunned. His flashes are slow to pop, and his C is a molly, so it's like, I don't know. He's just not that great of an agent. But if they do buff him, I think it's good that we talk about why he's good and how you can use him. So, again, he's good on the what is it, on the exteriors, on the wings for fighting for map control. Basically, that he's like the same reason why ISO's vulnerable is good is the same reason why Breach's fault line is good, right? It just fills up a lot of lanes of this map really nicely. This backside area, you could fill up like this, like if you guys are going for like a B split or something, you do something like that. Up cat, like the lanes are kind of built for Breach, I'm not gonna lie. Breach is just a horrible agent right now, and if he's not being played on Fracture and he's not winning on Fracture, then he's not going to win or play on this map. He's not going to do well on this map either. But you can do some pretty interesting things. You like aftershock this backside area. Again, you can stun all the lanes I was talking about. And his flashes are pretty neat. You can do some pretty neat flashes into mains or through these walls and stuff. Despite them looking pretty thick, he can still flash for his team. I think that's pretty neat. You could start cat, flash main for your teammates who are fighting a main. Again, I just think his utility overall needs a buff. Mostly his flash. A lot of players, if they have the reaction time of a normal person, they will be able to dodge Breach's flash. I think this just needs to pop faster. Like this flash just needs to pop faster, and that's it. That's Breach in D tier. Again, not a map dependent thing, it's a Breach dependent thing. He sucks. Once he gets buffed, I'm sure who'll move up my tier list. In C tier, we have nobody. Nobody is in C tier. And I'll starting with B tier. We're going to put our buddy Gecko. Now, why is Gecko playable? Why is he okay on this map? Well, he's good on this map for the reason why...
Good advice.
He's good on this map because another agent is good on this map. And we'll talk about that other agent later. For now, we're just going to talk about Gecko. But on this map, he could actually... He has a couple different neat... He has a couple different neat flashes that can get pretty early info. Like that one's a pretty good execute flash for B. He could throw his flash up in the sky and get instant info on B, which is nice. Kind of like in Corrode. I know a lot of people have made comparisons to this map, to Corrode. But Gecko's flash is pretty good towards this part of the map. In mid, it's okay. Again, you could throw it up in the sky. Again, but I just feel like Gecko's kit suffers from the same issue that Breach has, in that his abilities just aren't very good. Like his flash is easy to pop. Overall, he's not that great. You could flash over on A, like this is pretty decent, right? You can do it from like back here, and this will clear like all the courtyard and A site. So he's not like horrible. It's just that he's just not great. And fun fact, by the way, I haven't mentioned this about any agent yet, but most molly abilities, if they land on this thing, will break the switch, which is pretty cool. Only thing is you can't grab Mosh Pit when he's up there, right? Good. So that kind of sucks. And then Thrash obviously is just a good agent. If you're playing on, what is it? If you're retaking B and Heaven isn't closed off for some reason, what you can do, which is pretty cool, you can do this on a lot of maps, is that you could actually jump out of Heaven and just become a lot harder to shoot with some good movement. Gecko is bad if you're not playing an agent that I'm going to mention later in the tier list. Yeah, he's bad if you're not playing a certain agent, but he's good if you're playing the certain agent. So that's why he's in B, right? He's really good, but really bad, so put him in the middle. Make sense? So good. Then we have KO. KO is not a bad agent. Again, similar to other molly abilities, he can also use his
I'll shut them down
to close the doors.
Survive.
So I'm sure there's gonna be some nerdy, freaky out lineups where this shit's landing like on here. So I think that's pretty cool. You can insta close doors with the right lineups. That's pretty neat. And his knife is pretty good. His knife is generally just decent, right? You can fight for B main. You can knife like into the ground right there. Probably won't get shot. Clears some of sight. You can knife right here. That'll clear all of sight, clear back sight. His knife is really just good for the mains. That's really it. In mid, I guess I didn't look a whole lot in mid, but I guess you could do some pretty crazy stuff off rip. That's pretty hard to break unless they have a teammate somewhere over there. You could, in theory, throw a knife this way, but again, it can get broken from either side, right? So if you throw that one, it can get broken, and this one can get broken too. So his knife's just really good in the mains. That's really it. Even in A main, it's not like the best because it can still get broken if you throw it pretty deep. So you have to be careful with how you're throwing it. On A, it isn't that great. So maybe KO deserves to be down a tier. I'm gonna give KO enough thought. His knives on this map are pretty bad. His knives. This one's okay.
Knife deployed. Shutting them down.
Do I bump KO down a tier? I think I'm gonna bump KO down a tier. I think KO deserves to be in meh. He's really not that great. His flashes, you know, obviously you could throw him over walls. That's pretty neat, but that's also hard to do without blinding your team. So you're gonna need lineups for those. So it's just like, why not play an agent that you have later down the list? Like, why would you play him when you have other agents to play? Again, like his flashes can be crazy because you can throw them up pretty high. You can flash people over walls. They can be pretty unexpected. But again, why not just play other agents?
Flash.
Yeah, I think that's all I need to say about KO. His molly's a molly, flash, knife, and ult is always good. So I'll put KO on meh. I think that's fair. Now that brings us to A tier, and this one isn't going to be. This one's a little crazy. I'm putting Teo here. Solo Initiator, not so great, but the reason why Teo is good in my opinion is that there are so many like 50-50 angles you have to clear in this map.
Then you go in.
So if your team wants to like take mid or like A split, let's say an A split, right, would make more sense. right? He gets an A, gets an elbow, clears this. He clears left. He clears right. He gets a little around that corner. If you probably path a little bit better. He just clears out a lot of the gross angles that are hard to clear. And that goes for like if you want a B split too. Same thing. Let me throw this around the corner, and you'll see what I'm saying.
Locating targets.
So you clear right, you clear this, you clear this. You get around the corner, you clear this, and that clears it clears a lot of the map. And if you get a little closer, I'm sure you could even get a better drone. Where it could even clear maybe backside. No, but it can get your team on the angle. But the drone gets pretty far, and I think it's just an overall good ability. His what is it? His missiles are also good for fighting for map control.
All missiles
surprise. And on B, something I haven't talked about yet is that this is going to play similar to B-side on Sunset, where you plant the spike probably here or up against this wall right here, and you go back to main and spam the spike. And Teo is just...
Missile deployed.
He's good at that, right? He's good at spamming the spike with a bunch of abilities. His ult is really good for setting up trap plays. These are probably like insta-kill rounds, I'm not going to lie. If the enemy team is going B, this should probably just be good for like every kill possible. His ult on retakes is just insane because it just clears out so much of the map, right? If people are playing back to spam, this is going to force them out. Like, where do they even go?
All missiles away.
They're just cooked. They're absolutely cooked. And yeah, I mean, ult's good for backside. Missiles. The missiles are okay on an execute.
All missiles away.
Like, you could missile here and here, but players can still just like move back here and, you know, live. So it's like not like the best. And the only like other anchor spots you could hit are like behind this box. So this is nice for being like to clear it out. You could also missile drop to force people into the open or like into this area. So his missiles do have some like niche uses, and the stun obviously is just really good for fighting. And something I forgot to mention is that Teo's utility does break the switches if placed properly. So like, but you need two.
All missiles away.
And it needs to be like right at the tip. So if you ever wanted to do that, it exists, and the missiles don't go through the top of the doors, if you want to know that too. So that's a thing. And I think that's it for Teo. I just think he synergizes really well with some of the other agents that we're going to be talking about, and that's also a reason why he's an A and not so much B. So that's a big reason I should add that as a disclaimer. So Teo's there, and then we have Sky on A. Where is she? Again, just a good agent overall. You can't go wrong with Sky.
We know what we're doing. Trust each other, and
her flashes are easy to control. Her dog obviously scouts out a lot of the map. This is a closer quartered map in some of these hallways, in some of these areas. There's really not much to say about her, I'm gonna be honest. She's just a good agent. Yeah, you could throw her birds through like these little slits. That's cool. You could throw it through the closed door. If your team wants to take spawn or whatever, you can do that on either side. All right, and now we have the piece of resistances. We have Sova and Fade, and I feel like these are pretty interchangeable depending on your team comp. If you're going to run agents like Raze or Teo, I feel like Fade is probably the better pick. If you're going to run agents like ISO or Viper, then Silva is probably the better pick. It's potato. You can't go wrong with either one. Now Fade, there are a ton, and I mean a ton, of tall buildings on this map, and you should be abusing them to the best of your ability, right? If you can somehow get a haunt to land here, it's like, what is this not scanning? Like, what is that? Genuinely, what is that not scanning? There's like a big ass tower here. This is gonna be some crazy Fade lineups that I can't even begin to imagine what they're like. You could throw it maybe, no, not off the map, but once you get into this area, you could get on top of this tree maybe, or on top of this rock, or probably on top of these buildings somewhere in mid. The same thing goes. You can get a haunt to land like right here. This is probably awesome. Like, what is this not clearing? Like, it just clears everything. On B side, oh god, don't even get me started. And these haunts, dude, like, you could probably lob a haunt to land like right here. What exactly is this not clearing? I'm being so real. Like, are you seriously going to sit here and look all the way up here to shoot a haunt? Like, what? Like, not only that, it's like, this thing is like protected on its way up. Like, how are you supposed to shoot this thing when this building's like in the way? Like, obviously I miss it, but like, how are you supposed to hit it if it like goes over the right angle? Also, Batman Easter egg. That's pretty sick. So again, Fade's just a good agent. Her prowlers are amazing. They're great abilities.
Bring them down.
All right, like they're just 2 little drones. Oh man, the C's is good for fighting on A. The ulti covers so much of these sites on retakes and executes. It's just, oh, mamma mia on my pants.
My ulti's there. Take them.
You can't go wrong. Sova the same reason.
They demand a fight. Who are we
Sova
to
the same
disobey?
reason. I do think though in mid he is a little limited because he has to get up to here if you want to split. Right, you want to drone through main. If you kind of have to like get up and close, otherwise this thing's not going to go very far. So he might not be good on mid splits, but he's probably better for like clearing a main. Right, you start your drone from here,
Deploying drone.
send it out, clears out main for your team while they go up mid. Right, so. Again, it's like potato. You pick whichever you want. It's not a bad option. The darts are insane.
Scanning ahead.
Dart lands here, clears everything. You probably get a dart here.
Scanning
Probably
ahead.
this is probably better. On A site, you probably get one like
Scanning ahead.
there. Scans a lot. Fade might be a little bit better. So I'll put Fade like at the top of the tier list, but I think Sova is just like you can't go wrong with either one. I mean, you rip a dart, lands like, I don't know. There.
Revealing area.
I mean, it clears a lot, guys. Like, look how much is, like, this clears so much. B side especially. Like, come over here. Come over here and look. You could, dart, like, in that back corner. Even just off that wall. Just put the dart there. Look how much this clears. Obviously, I suck at Sova, but, like, you put it here, and it's like, you land this shit right here.
Revealing area.
Higher, obviously, but it clears backside, clears thing. What more do you want? What more do you want, chat? What more do you want? Also, the shocks.
Shock dart.
Takes 2 shots to break, right? But Sofa's ulti, I think, might be a little better on this map because he can blast it up each lane. I'll open Valor Plant for that one. We'll do this. I think Fates has like a slight edge, but I could delete that. I was building team comps. Like, you could Sova ulti up this back lane. You could Sova ult back at them in B main. You could Sova ult up this lane like this. You could Sova ult up this lane like this. You could Sova ult maybe like here. I had Shio Wagner come into my my chat and tell me that like it might be a little awkward because you're closer to your targets. But I don't know. I think this is a good range for Sova ulti. I'm not a Sova main, so if you Sova mains are in chat, comment below whether I'm being stupid or not. On retakes, I feel like this could be a little hard to use. I haven't given that much thought, actually, to retakes. But I'm assuming that it's a little more awkward to use on retakes. So I think that's where Fade gets a slighter edge. Where Fade's like a little more versatile than Sova. But honestly, you can't go wrong with either. So, yeah, that completes our Initiator tier list. Now we're going to move on to the controllers. And starting off in our D tier, we have Clove and Mix in front of Clove. Don't play Clove or Mix. They are just bad agents unless you're playing ranked, but this is not a ranked tier list. So glad we got that out of the way. C tier, nobody goes there. Who else did I got? I got Brimstone. Brimstone Zinho. He goes in B tier. Now, this map isn't huge like Breeze or Abyss, where
Let's ruin their day.
you can't smoke either side, even if you're in mid. But Brimstone can, if you're in mid. He can smoke both sides. This map isn't as big as you think. It's kind of like Haven, where there probably should be like a B site here, or like a mid site. But he can smoke either side. Like, look, you can smoke B, smoke A. You can smoke bottom mid.
Fully smoked.
That's pretty cool. His Stim Beacon obviously is good for splits. He has enough smokes, by the way. You know how I said you kind of need 3 smokes in order to take a site on this map, or like to split? Well, he has it all 3.
Fully smoked.
Look, like you can smoke top mid to start the rounds. You guys can break this. This gets broken. That gets closed. Nice, great. You guys continue. Oh, nice. Oh, this is smoke. Thanks, Brimstone. I'm glad you picked Brimstone, not Clove. This is smoke. Oh, thanks, Brimstone. And then you get up to here, and like you're good, right? Or like I guess maybe you want to pad this way so you can break the door. Nice. Brimstone, pretty good on this map. And then on retakes, I shouldn't say retakes. I wanted to talk about his Molly, like in post plants. Again, if you're going to plant open,
Molly.
He's good to sit back and spam. That's pretty good. Molly clears a lot of ground on this map. If you obviously have the right lineups for it. I don't. You could see that it kind of clears up a bunch. But the main piece of resistance that I wanted to talk about with my friend Brimmy is his ult, because god damn does this thing take up a lot of space. It clears out the entirety of A. Like, you cannot survive in this thing. Maybe like in this little part, not even. On B side, look at how much this clears out on B. Look at. You try to tell me that you want to go B? Hey guys, you guys want to go B? You guys want to go B? I got you. I'm playing Brimstone. Brimstone Xeno. Maybe someone survives in this cubby. Don't look like it. Don't look like it. Brimstone's ult covers so... Where do you anchor on this site? Where? Brimstone single-handedly makes it so that the defense cannot anchor on this site. Pylon a Molly for this like little thingy? Hold on, look at this. Look at this. Yeah, we're going through the whole motions. We're going through everything. Where on earth do you play? And you might be able to... I didn't even notice this in the first time through. Hold on. Are you able to break the door and ult? Like, and clear everything out? Hold on. We're making scientific discoveries in our videos, because that's what we do. Look at this. Look, let's look. I guess it doesn't clear that out, so it's a little troll.
Open up the sky.
Surely that opens, right? Yeah. How you like them apples? Then you put like a molly here or something. Brimstone Xeno. Look at that.
Fully smoked.
Triple smoke. You got your smokes. You're ready to rumble. Or you don't even need to use a smoke here. You could like find a molly lineup for
Molly.
here, so that like the enemy team can't peek out into the open. Right? I imagine this is open. You know, by the way, we do map theories and discussions like this all the time on my Twitch or on my YouTube live channel. Check those out in the description or pinned comment. So if you want to join in on any of these discussions or watch parties or ranked games, or if you guys want me to break down your own ranked games, you know, do a little VOD review for you guys, check out my Twitch. I give them away all the time, and you could be a lucky winner. Okay, so we got Brimstone Xeno. Now we're gonna go with, I have a Viper in here, and I have her in here because yes, she's a good agent. Let's go to Valiplant because it'll be easier for me to show you guys. Viper, she's good in the sense that she can like create a lot, and I mean a lot of problems for defense. I forgot the wall that I had over here on A. I forgot what it was, but it's something like this where it's good for post plant, right? This wall covers spawn. This, it allows you to walk up into A main. You could even throw it like this. I think this is what I had originally, where it allows you put the wall up, you can walk into main, you drop it, you fight this, you put the wall up, allows you to walk in another time, and it is a good time. Or you could put it here. I think this might be a little bit better, where again, you put it up, you walk up, you drop this, you fight anyone in this area, you put it up, you walk into A. There's just so you can get so creative on attack with Viper, where I think it's awesome. Like, she's a good agent on this map, but obviously you need another controller. In mid, you could do something very similar, where you could wall like both. How did I have it? I did it in a custom game before, where you wall off both mids, so you basically have total mid control. You block off both sight lines for the defense, and you want to have this wall leak out a little more towards how did I have this? Something like this. You don't want it to go too low because there's a little ramp right here that lowers the wall that allows the defense to like see over the top. But if you just hug your wall, it's not a problem. Just hug your wall, and then you can break this, break the door. It's a good like mid default wall, I suppose. Maybe you can get it like, maybe you could cheese it out and do something like this, so that this little tail part works as like a post plant smoke for B. Again, a ton of creativity here on Viper, and then on B you could do something similar. Something like this, I was theory crafting. Something like this, where you put the wall up, you scale out of B main, you clear this, you put it back up, and like you could like sliver walk out into B. Something like that could be cool. You could probably get away with something like this. Wall up, get out, walk out. Maybe you combo that with like an orb for heaven, right? Something like this. Or even with this earlier wall that I showed you, you can walk up, break the door. Like, you have the cover to like spam the door, right? So that's pretty cool. Viper just has a lot of creative potential on this map, and on defense too. You do something like this. I don't know if you can get it to go a little further. No. So I thought maybe you could block all three chokes at the same time, but I guess you can't. So you could do something like this, where you basically cut off You have to play with it a little bit and get a little finicky with it. You cut off bottom mid. You also cut off B main, and the attackers, if they want to go B, they have to cross your wall once, twice, 3 times to make it on a B site. So that's really annoying. And then an A, I found this wall to be a little more awkward because it doesn't really block as much as you'd like. It goes like this. It blocks A main and then mid, but that's really it. So I think Viper is just better set up on defense to be playing on B. I think her kit just fits B more. Yes, and then when you have this wall, you could do something like here. There you go. Then you could throw her orb maybe for like I haven't given her orb much thought with this setup. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe you could do something like this. So it gives you like a ton of angles to like ride around in an anchor. So you can like go into this cubby, you can ride around a back site, you can all go into your smoke from back site, you can go into this box. That could be pretty decent. Yeah. Or you do a smoke like this. I wonder if this covers everything. This is like new. This is new to me, chat. I'm as new to this map as it is to you guys. So I'm going to see if this... Will this be like a decent smoke? What was I doing in Valor Plant? Let's see. Okay, I think Valor Plant's a little off. I think Valor Plant's a little off. No way that works.
Poison orb emitting.
Yeah, maybe if we had an Astra smoke. Astra smoke would just be a fat flood smoke. Alright, we can talk about her in a minute, but yeah. I think Viper has enough tech to make her a viable pick. So I'm going to do A. I could see S. I could see it as like a must pick once Pro Team's going to a hold of her. But I think that's a pretty good, I think it's a good placement for her. And that brings us to Astra and Omen. And I think Omen edges her out just a little bit. Astra smokes. We could just talk about Astra. I guess we could try that experiment.
Match point. Glory.
So I think that Astra's ult is just really good on this map. I will take you to Valor Plant again. And if you want to B-split, her wall is good for it. You can do something like this, where it blocks off Cat, blocks off this. Obviously, you could probably line it up a lot better than I can. Yeah, so you funnel in. Unfortunately, you can't really break the door, but it gives you so many smokes. Smokes Cat, smokes mid, smokes this, smokes this. You just get so many. And you haven't even used your stars yet. On A, you could probably do something similar. If you wanted an A split, you could do something like this. I actually haven't thought about an A split yet. Something like this. Something you want to do it like this, I think. So you get like the door. This could be decent right here. Do something like this. I guess not so much if you're going A. But regardless, I think her wall is good. It's just good. It's a good retake wall. It'll help you retake B because everybody's gonna be spamming. B splits, it's nice. If you want to just go B, it's nice too because look, you do something like this. You do something like this, get into elbow, get into drop pretty safely. Maybe that's too much space. Maybe you do something like this. This works too. You just smoke heaven. Call it a day. On A, if you want to go A, you can do that wall that I was showing you earlier that I thought was good for an A split, but in reality it's not. This is probably pretty decent. I mean, or if you want to get like super finicky, something like this. You could use her pullback stars to cross the gaps on A and B main. And I thought there was something else I wanted to show in Astra. Oh yeah, there is. Her smokes just do a better job at filling the gaps and are more flexible than the smaller controllers. So like, let's say for example your team wants to like go A, but they're on like an eco. You could do something like this, and your team could just funnel in like this, like funnel into A, like so. If you have a bunch of stingers, you want to do like a little stinger rush, you could do that. Over on B, again, her smokes are big enough to where she can cover gaps like this without a problem, like this. And like this.
Concealment.
Smoke. And yeah, it covers all the bases you really need. I wanted to see this anchor smoke that I just showed you guys. Is this a thing or is this just a... Let's try it. Let's try it, chat.
Obscuring vision.
I don't think it's a reality. It's too small. Imagine. Yeah, Astra's pretty good at this map. I talked about, yeah, she can play stars for the executes. Her ult's pretty decent. She can place a star back sight, which is pretty good. What else? Post plants, obviously, awesome. The only thing with her is that you don't really need her global smokes. Like Omen and Harbor can basically smoke across the map. Similar to Astros, you don't really need this global presence that she has. Kind of a little overrated. So yeah.
Blocking vision.
I think that's it.
Concussing him.
So let's talk about Omen. We already talked about him in A tier as well, right? So let's talk about it. Why is he in A tier? Well, and not S, which he really could be S.
My ultimate is
Switching
ready.
sides.
I'll wait to
Overtime.
remember.
Okay, so Omen's good on this map if, like, his paranoia is just... I've said this so many times. It's the best ability in the game. It is the best ability in Valorant. It is still that. It is still the best ability in Valorant. It clogs up so much, chat. Like, look at how much it clogs. Look.
Blinding.
Look at it. It just clogs everything. Everything.
Stealing sight.
On retakes, too. I mean, like, look. It just covers everything. You guys are retaking from B? Look at this fat paranoia. It just covers everything. It is such a good ability. He can use his TPs to put himself in better positions to blind the site. So if he wants to blind up this left lane, he can. Same thing over on A. He can use his TPs to obviously blind most of A. Blind this cubby, something like this. Also, he can use his TPs to like teleport himself up onto places that other agents can't. And then if you pick Sage, which, spoiler alert, she's not bad on this map, you can probably do some pretty cool trick plays. And we saw that in the show match, if you guys remember that from a few days ago. And then also, too, he can teleport into heaven, so that's pretty nice. His smokes do a good enough job of filling these gaps.
Shadows traveling. Shadows traveling.
All right, pretty decent. Over on A, I think the smokes are a little too big to cover this cross on A. And his ult, too. I see that there's a lot of potential for spots that he can ult. Like even like just around this corner, right? It gets the B player out of heaven to come check, and then just fat blind, right? It forces this person to come down here and like check this while the execute's still going on. Where else could you ult? You could ult like maybe you could even ult into B Link, right? I think this is a pretty decent TP. You could ult into like behind this box. You can ult back here, right? This is probably pretty strong, right? Because like nobody's really going to be back in this specific spot to come check this. In order to come clear this, you have to be playing like right here, which I think is not like the greatest position, and you have to come back and clear this. I mean, I guess if somebody's playing back here, it's not too great. I just feel like we're going to see a lot of potential from his ult, and I think Omen is a really good pick on this map strictly for his paranoia. The rest of it is just kind of gravy on top, right? And like I said, he has access to all these higher vantage point angles that. Can you do anything up here? Kinda. And yeah, I just think Omen's a good map, or good pick on this map. Paranoia is amazing. Who would have thought? And that gives us one more agent who belongs in S tier, and you guys might call me crazy for this, but it is Harbor. It is, oh boy, it is Harbor. Where is he? S tier. I think Harbor just unlocks so much creativeness on this map, and it is crazy that Riot's going to rework him again. Because I think he is just fine the way he is. I think people just like to complain. Again, you need 3 smokes on this map, and Harbor's wall is basically 3 smokes. I really botched that. I am sorry. Let's try that again. There we go. So you can wall like this. You wall all this off. Forget this first wall. This is probably a little bit better, so you have a little more breathing room. He is just such a good agent. You can A-split if you wanted to. Wall from here. Wall goes up. Wall goes up. Go like this. This is pretty good. Allows your team to take back cave. On defense, you could wall so much. Like, dude, look at this. Look at this. You send your wall from here. Covers this. And then a little bit into A. So you're getting so much early map control. And if you're playing an agent like Chamber or Yobru or an agent that can like push up and like take these fights in mid, look at how much map control look how much you're stalling with one ability. With one ability. Isn't that crazy? And then the Cove over on B.
Don't
if
place.
the enemy team is like trying to sit back and play spam,
Adding shield.
right? You have the code for that. You have
Don't place.
the extra smokes for heaven. If you're going B, you don't even need that extra smoke in heaven. You just do this. You just do this.
Walls up.
Look, you cover everything. You cover everything your team needs to cover. Or if you're on a Nico and you don't want all that map control, just do this. Look.
Water
Look at this,
rising.
chat. Look. It covers everything. It covers everything. Isn't that something? Just about everything. Yeah, it covers everything. Which other agent offers you this amount of flexibility? Which other one? On retakes? Oh my god, don't even get me started on this guy's retakes. Look at this. Look.
Water rising.
Fuck that. Let's just take the front half. We don't need anything else. Just take this.
Don't set.
Cool in the spike.
Adding shield.
Look at that. You probably place that a lot better. Right, let's say for example.
Don't destroy.
Let's say for example the spike's planted here.
Don't place. Blocking fire.
You sit here, you probably oh my gosh, you can do this a lot better. Controlling.
Don't destroy.
You could probably do something like this. Like spikes in that corner.
Don't set.
You get the
Blocking
idea.
fire.
Sit here and defuse. Enemy team's freaking out. You swing him, you kill them all. Ah, man, what isn't Harbor good at on this map? He can B split, he can A split, he can cure cancer. This guy can do it all.
Walls up.
Maybe that's not where you want to B split from, but who cares? You got an extra smoke.
Don't place.
You can make stupid mistakes with them, and he has enough smokes to like back it up. Ain't that something? And then again, his whirlpool too, his storm surge.
Flooding vision.
It just covers so much of the.
Flooding vision.
Like, it covers a lot of sight, chat. Like, look,
Flooding vision.
it covers everything.
Crowding sight.
Covers behind this box, covers close. I mean,
Flooding vision.
probably do something like this, right? Clears a whole bunch out. The storm surge is good on what is it, on B? And his ult, chat. Oh my god, his ult is amazing on this map.
Crowding sight.
Clears all that.
Crowding sight.
Clears all that. Look at this. Hey guys, you want to retake A? Yeah. Let's retake A. Do something like this.
Let's turn the die. Ultimate ready.
Look at this, chat. It flushes every single possible position out. Every single possible position. You do it from here. Hey, let's retake A. Alright, bet. Let's do that.
Water
Throw him
rising.
this wall. Nice. Nice. Yeah, let's retake A. We just nearsighted every possible position. And the enemy team can't play back to spam the spike. There is no position to spam the spike from. There is none. There is none. So I'm telling you, Harbor is just amazing on this map. Even for A pushes. You go over into this position.
Let's turn the die. Ultimate ready.
Flush out all of A. You can flush out all of the courtyard if someone's in courtyard. Oh man, I could talk about this guy all day. He's so dreamy. He's so dreamy and creamy. You can do something like this. This is pretty decent. Like, clear close, you clear this, you clear this, you stop the wall to like right here. Like, bro. Like, what? Oh, let me try and push through this. Oh, that was a good idea. And then I get shit on. You close the door. And then he still has his high tide for the post plant. Just like, oh my gosh, Harbor is just yummy in my tummy. He could one. Everyone's saying you can one-way this. Spoiler alert, you can't. This isn't like a one-way. You could just like walk through this. Not a one-way. Yeah, play Harbor. So here's our controller tier list. Am I missing anybody? Feels like I'm missing someone. Nope. Nope. Here's our controller tier list. Now, lastly, let's move on to the Sentinels. And now, lastly, we have the Sentinels. And starting in D tier, there's nobody. Maybe you could argue Deadlock goes down there, but for now, I'm putting her in C tier. Spoiler alert, I feel like she's the only agent that can kind of hold A. A is not really a site that you want to anchor. It's more like it's more of a it's a site where you want to like fight up and fight into A main, right? This is kind of like the battleground area which you want to fight, and in this area, right? Because there's not really like Cypher trips can go here, sure, Killjoy Molly, sure, but like they're gonna get broken. You can't really hold site. There's not a whole lot of spot you can play in. Not a whole lot of spots you can play in, but Deadlock stun sensors are like short enough. Or like A site's like short enough to where like these stun sensors can end up doing like a lot of damage if you don't take your time, right? So like this stun sensor can be crazy, that one can be crazy, this one can be nuts, and like maybe Deadlock can like get one here, but I think C tier is like even a little too generous because once the offense realized that like they work out that you're doing this, they're just going to be more careful about it. And then her grab net, yeah, sure, it's nice that they went down from 50 seconds. Like, it came down from 50 seconds. Like,
Throwing net.
I don't know. She can be good depending on the comp you're playing, but I'll put her C because her grab net does do something. Her grab net does kind of do something. The stun sensors can do something. I feel like some of the chokes in this map are, you know, tight enough to where she can find a little bit of value. Like, right, she can hold on the backside pretty well. She can hold A pretty well. Mid, obviously, she's a little useless. And then her net, she's a little more offense coded, right, with her net. Right, you can do something like this.
No escape.
Take a lot of A main control. Again, it's not like perfect by any means. And her stun sensors don't really do that great of a job at holding map control. Like, I guess that's okay. And you can kind of do the same thing over in A, but there could be like a small gap in there. I don't know. I just feel like the other Sentinels you're about to see do such a better job than Deadlock that you're gonna be like, yeah, Teets, I'm not playing Deadlock, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. So, and then the ulti's her ulti. It's not bad. It's whatever. We'll just leave her in C tier. I think she's okay. And now if we go to also in C tier, I want to put Vito here. I really do. But you could argue that he's low B. Regardless, he is the next agent. He's either low B, high C. I'll just do low B. I'll do low B, and I'll try to be positive about the changes that he's gotten. I just don't think he has enough to stall a push.
Take a moment to collect yourselves.
His trip doesn't really tether anybody. It doesn't stop anyone. His interceptor doesn't like do a great job at like stopping a rush or like breaking every ability. I think it needs to be able to break more abilities, I'm guessing. Like maybe that'd be a decent buff. I just don't think this recent buff that he's gotten is that great. It's like it's not good enough. And yeah, his TP range is nice.
Watcher expired.
I crafted a little setup where shoot, where was it? I think like you put a TP here or something. Yeah, like here. And you put like one down here. He's just very hard to use compared to the other Sentinels, and I just don't know why you would play him over the others. And then you have like something here, and then you have your trip holding cat or something so that you're not getting destroyed. Or you're like, oh, it's B, it's B. Look how fast you can rotate. Like you're basically just on B, right? So like that's pretty cool. But I just don't. There's not like a whole lot of places you can hang up his one way on or like his trip on. Like even this, I spent a while trying to like do this, and I don't even know if it's possible. But I do want to be hopeful that with his buffs, maybe he's a lot better than I'm saying. Right? Maybe it's like, oh, maybe he wants to fight mid at the start of the round. Right? So he like walks down mid, right, with the help of his smokes, and then he gets to like here, and then I don't know, he gets one and gets out. Oh, it's B, it's B. I don't know. I'm not too hopeful. Maybe you need to do more theory crafting with the setups in order for him to find value, but I know I was the Vito guy for a little bit, but I'm not very hopeful. Even after playing with this kit just now, I feel like he's C tier. I just don't think he's that. I don't think he's all that, unfortunately. B, C, who knows? But what I do know is that next in our tier list, we have Cypher and then Chamberino. So let's talk about Cypher first. Global information will always be good. Like it'll never not be. It's just that I feel like he doesn't have a lot of dirty tripwire setups to take use of the new buff that he has. On A, it's basically just a big open field. It's not really great. On offense, he has a couple trips that you could throw down to like secure map control for your team. Like this is pretty nice. Like what you guys have taken A main. Obviously put that a little lower. And he doesn't have a lot of camera spots either. That's the thing. So like on defense, he doesn't have a lot of kill trips. At least not that I could find right away.
That goes there.
Like maybe you could do something like this, but even then it's not that great, chat. And then on B, he does have like one good trip that goes like this. And like this is kind of like this is like pretty hard to break. I'm not gonna lie. Right, but the thing is, the reason why this was good on Sunset, this like unbreakable trip, is because there was a one way to trap you in, and there's just no one way here. Like this is the best you could do.
Cage triggered.
And I don't think, unless you're playing against Shaq, I don't think it's gonna one way them. And then in terms of cameras, I haven't found like a lot of good ones. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Literally none as I scan the map now. I don't see it. Maybe you could do something like this where you jump out of heaven and You could see somewhere. Yeah, I don't. You could see like over B. Maybe if you get like a cam up here somehow, but I don't think that's possible. And like for offense cams, he doesn't have like a. Yeah, again, you're not gonna see a whole lot. And on offense, he doesn't have like a lot of cams that hold map control either. I mean, you could throw his cages to like help you gain map control, right? You get to this point, you could like throw a cage over the top. Throw a cage over the top.
Cage triggered.
And you could like clear the area. Like that's okay. Maybe cross, right? Cameras, you can maybe throw one off this back wall. This is okay, but it's just out in the open. It's probably gonna get shot. Doesn't even clear up behind this box. Ah, man. Yeah, I tried doing this in my own time to find like finding cams and stuff, but I couldn't find anything. I still can't. I can't even think of any that would be good. Maybe I'm wrong. So that's why he's in B tier, because like global info will always be good. But he's not broken like he used to be. B tier is a good spot. Chamber, I'll take it to Valid Planet, be a little easier to show. His TPs aren't horrible. He can like peek into mid. He can lurk pretty well. He can put like a TP here or here. Lurk into mid. Even here. He doesn't have bad like attacker TPs. It's just that they're kind of limited. Again, this is like corrode. These are like corrode coded TPs. Where you can peek into mid, you could peek into whatever. This TP is like pretty good because the thing is like the enemy team will hear this because this is past the buy barrier, so it might be a little predictable. But he's not bad. I mean, Chamber is Chamber, right? I don't think he's like horrible. So I think B tier is like a good spot for him. You could interchange these two if you wanted. They're really not like anything to write home about. Sage, though, I believe. The main character of this map is next. Sage, where is she? Sage is just a good agent. And I don't really have much else to say about her.
Switching sides.
She just got that buff where her heal now heals herself back up to 100. So that's cool. On attack, you can use her wall to do some like funky little strats. Most are on B side. On A side, not necessarily. But you can use her wall as like that third smoke that I talked about that you needed. Right? If you guys wanted to like A split. You get up to here. I'll give you get up to here and you wall like this. Oh, let's A split. Let's A split, right? You guys A split. It's a good time. This is more so for B. Where her walls look pretty good. She can wall out like this. This is a decent wall, right? Get you out to sight. Not too crazy. Her slows are just nice. Can't complain about those. You have a completely open skybox here, so you could like launch slows over to A if lined up properly. Her heal's nice, her ult's nice. I just think Sage is like a really good and underrated agent. And with so many slits of like openings in this map, I mean, you could do some crazy things, especially if you have an Omen or a Raze, someone who could like take advantage of the verticality your wall provides, right? Wall them up here, maybe they could see over the top or see something crazy. I know for a fact that you can do something like this. I think it was on A, actually. Yeah, it's on A. If the door gets closed, if the door gets closed, this is the only door that you could really do this on. You could see pretty well. You could like, you can get some pretty cheeky kills here. So this isn't too bad. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other walls we're gonna find. Sage has always just been a good pick, and I think she's pretty underrated. Res for 7 orbs is amazing. Heal's amazing, especially on herself now. Orb slows down a rush. Probably the best. She's probably the best at stalling a rush. Wall's good. I have no complaints from Sage. She's the main character, and she's a good pick. That's where she goes. And now Killjoy is S tier, and Vice is as well. Now, why is Killjoy S tier? Well, I think that her ult is pretty freaking bonkers.
Switching sides.
And on attack, she's not bad either. So similar to Haven, or I guess I should say Pearl. Similar to Pearl mid, you could just you could literally just leave a turret here, and you just have mid control for the rest. You don't have to worry about the attackers like pushing down too deep for the rest of the round, literally. So that's probably going to be like the default turret for Killjoy. And then on defense, she can't really hold A. Spoiler alert, most agents can't. You know, A is like a site that you fight up on. I guess that's like a good use for Chamber. He can fight up on A and play B. He's a little more versatile. So I guess you could put him over Cypher a little bit, maybe. But she's probably going to be better for holding B site. Her mollies do a better job at clogging the chokes. Do like a little molly setup like this. Microwave anybody that's coming out, plus a turret probably on this box, I'm assuming. Something like that. That's pretty great. The best part about her, though, is her ult, and it is insane. Like, she has some just crazy ult spots. You place this here. You have some, like, crazy molly lineup for through that window. And it just lands. And it covers every spot that the defenders can play. It gets your team the entirety of the map, basically. The entirety of sight. So that's pretty cool. And then on A... Wait, this isn't a good one. This is a good one. Right here. This gets you the entirety of courtyard. It gets you the entirety of A site. It gets you a little bit of, what are we going to call this? I don't know what we're going to call this part of the map. Stones? Path? Water? Water, maybe? Water's a good call out. Her ults are just amazing. On whatever, on retakes, if the enemy team closes the door, you get ult from here. Gets you so much. Gets you all the sight. I mean, what more can I say? You kind of do want to ult from back here, though, because... I'll show you. These will force the attackers into A main. Even if the door is still open, ulting from back here is pretty nice. Just by Killjoy having her ult online, it's going to alter the way that the attackers play the round, like, completely. And there's no other agent in the game that does that, really. To at least to the potency that Killjoy does. Again, places down, the attackers are forced back into B main, and if you have a harbor, you just build the spike, cover them off, it's just GG's. Tap the spike, GG's, they gotta come swing you. And I'm sure there'll be some like crazy microwave setups that we see that are just really good. It's just that with an ult this strong and not being useless on attack, it's just really nice for Killjoy. Not being useless and the ults are insane. And also, if you want, you could go for a double nano setup on the switches. You can do something like this.
Placing swamp grenade.
Just keep in mind that Killjoy's nanos don't stack in damage, so you can't do both at the same time. But if you do one right after the other, you will break the door. So that's pretty cool. That may be a little niche, but still pretty cool. And with her buffs, I think she's just good. I think she's just a good agent. Probably the best. Probably the best, but not as good as our #1 spot in Vice, because Vice, spoiler alert, is probably the only agent
Switching sides.
Speak up
Match
and ask
point.
who
questions.
can hold both
Assumptions will only
B
get
and
us in
A.
trouble.
There's just a lot of walls she can do. On attack, too, she can hold a lot of map control. On defense, obviously this wall's pretty good. You can do a wall like this. You could hold like this front half of sight. That's pretty amazing. A lot of walls there. The only thing she doesn't have is passive information, like a Killjoy or Cypher. So the Vice is more of like an anchor-heavy agent on this map. And then her flash, too. I wanted to point this out, too. You can place her flash, like, near where the buttons are. So you could, like, you'll know when the enemies are, like, looking in this, like... See what I'm saying? Like, you're just going to get blinded when you're shooting this. And Vice literally has something for you to... She forces you to look at her flash. And I think that's insane. So maybe the meta will be, like, you have to shoot around the targets to, like, find Vice's flash. But... she's just a good agent. Like I said, she's like the only agent that can actually hold A. Like this is, like a wall like this is pretty insane. You have to commit out pretty far to bait this thing out. And then once you're up this far, it's like, yeah, Vice could be like right here. Mow somebody down. I mean, it's pretty bad. She's just good. Again, I can't grab my flash, but imagine I'm her flash, you know, like this door's getting shot, right? Or like maybe I have it like up here and it just blinds. Bah! And then I just swing and kill everybody. Plus razor vines are insane. You pull this right on the corner. How are you gonna walk through sight? How are you gonna get into sight when you have this to walk through? Never. You're just trapped in this area. One thorn here. There's a Vice player. There you go.
Thorns activated.
How you like that? So I think that puts. What else do I have? Oh yeah, attacker side. Attacker side flash. Thorns obviously are always good for attacking, right? For stalling and planting and stalling. I'm sorry, stalling retakes and planting enemies' insights. We found a good flash in the custom game where you just flash like this. This is pretty good for mid. Allows you to fight mid pretty well. That's pretty cool. The ulti's okay. The ulti's not amazing by any means. Not nearly as good as Kildra's at least. And but it does cover a lot of ground. Like on B site, you're going to get a lot of sight once you make it to heaven. And on A, I don't think it's as potent as I think it is. Let me just check again real quick. Yeah, it's not as great. If you get it into here, this is pretty cool. Oh, never mind. This is pretty great. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is pretty awesome. So, Vice has a good setup. It's very versatile. Her flash is very versatile. Her thorns are really versatile. Her ult is very versatile. Her and Killjoy are probably the number 1 and 2 picks on this map. So, we do these tier lists live on stream. And we do a lot of discussions and tier lists and watch parties and a lot of fun on stream. So if you want to check me out, twitch.tv/teetsTV or my YouTube live channel, link in the descriptions and top comment. And see you.